Welcome to Seniors Count. I'm your host, Tula Mall. On our show, we believe that you are the foundation on which Boston was built. So our goal is to connect you to the resources, benefits, and information to enhance your life. Thank you for joining us. Today we welcome Judy Willett and Barbara Siegel from ReServe Boston. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Delighted to be here.
Oh, we're so happy to have you. Why don't we start off by, Judy, if you don't mind telling us, what is ReServe for people who don't know?
ReServe is a nonprofit that actually matches people who are 55 and over, and nonprofits and city agencies actually also, so that they can help, give back, do actually an encore career is what it's called. So that if you are retired or thinking of retiring, ReServe is a great option so that you don't necessarily want to play golf 24/7, but this keeps you engaged and a way to give back to the community.
Nice. Can you speak about this movement a little bit of what people are doing after retirement and how that's maybe changed over the past generations, I guess?
Oh, absolutely. In 1950, men, their average age of their longevity was 66. And 10 years later, it was 76. And that has just continued. And women, it was 71, and then it was 81. And that has just continued. So the longevity of people, if you are born today, 2/3 of those people will live to be 100. So it is an enormous growth in so many years after people might choose to retire, where they want to do something. They want to give back. We all want to. It is not your grandmother's retirement anymore. And even if someone wants to retire and not do their main job, what they used to do, most people want to stay engaged. And that's a healthy thing to do, emotionally, physically, and mentally. And that's what work does. And socially is a big reason why people stay engaged also.
I can imagine after maybe working, their whole lives, 9 to 5, and then all of a sudden retirement comes and the first couple of weeks is great. Right. And then you're like, okay, so I've done all my home projects. What now?
Right, exactly.
Where do we go from here?
I've cleaned out enough closets.
Yeah.
I've done my hobbies. And you always, I think people really want to do that. But people have a strong want and need. You're talking about 20 years of potential retirement, and you want to stay healthy and engaged. And one way to do that is to stay working and giving back to nonprofits and giving back to the city and the state, and giving back is an important part of that.
Great. So I'm going to jump back and forth. Barbara, you are a reservist, correct?
I
am. What motivated you to become a reservist? I mean, we're talking about it, so you specifically.
Well, I'm a good example. The first year of my retirement, I did all the things on my bucket list that I'd been holding back on, and I did a great deal of travel, and I took some courses, and I learned how to play tennis, and I did all that. And 1 year passed, and then what? I'd had my travel experiences. I wasn't exactly sure what I wanted, and I was very bored. And so I heard about ReServe and that they were having an information session. It was called First Impressions. And I went to it to find out what is it that this is about. And there was an entire room full of people just like me, professionals who retired too early. Not so much chronologically, but just that our minds were still going and we still wanted to do something important. So I signed up.
Nice. Can you speak to how is this different than from volunteering?
Different people in that encore stage of life choose different things, and all of them are appropriate and good. ReServe actually is part-time work, it's flexible work, and it is a modest stipend. So the stipend is $10 an hour, and that actually gives a little more of a commitment from the person themselves, the person who's a 55 and over professional, and it also, the agency that you're potentially working for, working with children or doing a marketing plan or a business plan, all those types of things that you might be able to give to the nonprofit to help them to sustain. They pay $18 an hour. And that helps because the reservist is not on their payroll, but on our payroll.
Okay, got it.
So they don't have to do anything. They just have this wonderful person who has all these talents and skills and comes ready to work.
Yeah, so it's like a little incentive.
Yes.
Other than just the feel good, which obviously is a huge part of it.
Yes.
And the socialization and the having the something to do, right?
Absolutely.
Can you talk about maybe what you're doing, and then maybe you can speak to what other folks are doing, or however you want to.
Sure.
Well, when I signed up to be a reservist, I wasn't exactly sure what. I owned a business for 30 years, and there you wear many different hats. So I knew a little about a lot of things. So when I applied to ReServe, they happened to have had a position open for the matchmaker, the person who knows from the nonprofit exactly what positions are open. And on the other hand, the reservists and what their skills are, and I make those matches.
Oh,
And that's what I do.
very nice. Okay, what other opportunities are there out there, or can you give examples of?
Sure, and I'll start, but then Barb should add because she really is our matchmaker, and so she actually talks to the professionals. So the people do lots of different things, and I mentioned a few before, but we've had people work at different agencies and actually do their bookkeeping. Go and help them to reassess their IT, all of their technology, their database management, and then actually help to do that and to train people. Life skills training, community work service is actually our ReServe's fiscal agent. They are the organization that we are under. We're a program of them. And we have reservists there, and they help people who are trying to get jobs, who have developmental disabilities, recently incarcerated, people who are on welfare, and they actually help them with life skills, learning how to do resumes, many things so that they can get back into the workforce. Community Work Service, which we're a program of, is also an excellent nonprofit in the city of Boston also. Other things, Barb?
There are many things. It depends on the talents of the reservists who come forth. We have one reservist who is helping a very large agency, elder care agency, get reaccredited, which is a very long bureaucratic process. And they are just handing it over to the reservist and saying, it's due in November, take care of all the community meetings that you need and do and get us reaccredited. We have a reservist right now in the North Shore who is leading a group of 8 women who are trying to get back into the workforce. So the reservist is recruiting the women. These are women who are long out of the workforce because of childbirth or whatever reason. And it's an 8-week curriculum-based program to try to get them back into the workforce. We have reservists as IT professionals who sit at the help desk of large organizations. We have reservists who are marketing people who will help market the services of the nonprofit to the greater world because they could have been a vice president of sales and marketing for an international firm, and this is what they know and this is what they do. Web designers, we have reservists who are web designers. We also have reservists who are grant writers. That's big in demand, grant writers and fundraisers, because nonprofits always need more funds. And it's hard, and many of the nonprofits just can't afford to hire market level professionals to do those kinds of jobs. And our reservists have 30, 40 years of experience doing exactly that, and they're happy to help.
Do you find, go ahead.
Oh, sorry, but sometimes also, someone might have been, when our education programs, which is called First Impressions, where you learn about ReServe, and we can tell you more about those. But there was an air traffic control person who was there. And so you might say, well, that's not a job that a nonprofit or anyone is going to need, but he has skills that are transferable. Organization, working with people, management, a lot of different skills, and he could do trainings or many other things. So when you hear about them, don't think, oh, I couldn't do that, or I don't know how to do a business plan, but we help you to think about what kind of skills you have. Where have you worked or volunteered? If you raise kids and you didn't work outside your house, you still have enormous skills that can be useful in this stage.
Yeah, I was going to ask if you find that most people want to continue doing a little bit of what they've done, or if they're looking to, I guess, maybe try something different, or I don't know.
It's very interesting. It's a real mix. A lot of people say, I spent my entire life in insurance and I never want to do that again. But I know Microsoft Office, and I know how to write, and I know this. So we have a lot of people are looking for a creative outlet, that they want to do something in the arts. And so people come with their wish list, yes.
You mentioned the North Shore, so I was thinking about boundaries of ReServe. So is it just Boston city limits, Greater Boston? Talk a little bit about.
Yep. We actually, a lot of our nonprofits where we place people and the work that they do is in Boston, but we also have placements up in Gloucester, in Lowell, Newton, and Marlborough, and all the way down, actually, we have 3 reservists who are working in Rhode Island right now.
Wow.
So we are ReServe Greater Boston. And if you live outside that jurisdiction, feel free to call us and we'll see what kinds of connections we can make for you.
So I wanted to ask, how do you match your service? But I think part of my question is also, so if you find someone who lives, let's say in the South Shore, do you go out and start hunting for organizations there? Or?
Good question. It's a process. It's a dance.
Okay.
We have someone beating the bushes, going to the nonprofits and helping them formulate a specific job description that for different projects they need on one hand. And then we have over 300 reservists right now that I try to place in those specific jobs. But then we have incredibly talented people, and we give that to our job development person, and he finds jobs. He goes to different nonprofits. That sometimes when he visits a nonprofit, they say, "Oh my God, we have so many things we need. We need fundraising. We need an organization. We need a new computer system," and so that he could say, "Well, let me tell you who we have right now that can fulfill some of these needs." So it's both. It goes back and forth depending on who the person is, what the opportunity is.
It's a lot of work trying to coordinate all that with different organizations and hunting them down.
It is.
Amazing.
And it's very important if people who are listening know nonprofits who might need talent.
There you go.
That would be wonderful also, because we are really looking to let nonprofits know about ReServe and know about this enormous talent pool. You have nonprofits now who have more need than they've ever seen before, and they have less resources than they've ever seen before. So both of those are perfect for 10,000 people a day who are 65, are turning 65 every day. So that is a lot of people and enormous opportunity of giving back and helping nonprofits to build their capacity, and also helping the children and the families and the older people. And so all different nonprofits are using reservists now.
That's great. What are you hearing from reservists and the organizations they work for? I don't know who to.
Oh boy, both of us can, but the kinds of things that they say is, I walked in and boy, they needed me to do a market plan, but before that they actually needed me to help to work with their board. And I noticed that because their board wasn't engaged. So then nobody was going out as an ambassador to really engage people in the marketing plan we were all going to write. So sometimes you go into an agency and there are a lot of different things to do. And sometimes it's more specific. But for them personally, and you can speak to this personally, it is a very meaningful way to relate to people, to help your community, and to help the members or clients of the nonprofit. So it's a very hands-on, important, critical thing that you are doing now every day or part-time with your work. Usually reservists work 10 to 20 hours a week, but we're very flexible on that, a little more, a little less.
Okay. What has your experience been? Tell us a little bit about that as a reservist.
Well, I brought many years of experience to it. So I found that I caught on much faster than I think I was worried I wouldn't catch on anymore.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I had 1 year and my brain went to nothing. But
Wasn't true.
Not true.
Not true at all.
It's also, I had experience in things that the organization didn't do. Marketing is one of the things that I did a lot for my business. And I found that the marketing at ReServe is limited. And so I started a newsletter, I started a mailing campaign. A lot of us met at the movies to see The Intern about
Oh, yeah.
a 70-year-old Robert De Niro
Yeah.
entering the workforce. So that they didn't even ask for that as part of my job, but because of my experience, I bring it anyway.
Yeah, well, that's great. What has been your biggest challenge, you think? So how long have you been doing this, if you don't mind?
3 months.
Okay. Oh, wow. Kind of a newbie.
A newbie.
So to go back to what you were saying, so it is, I think, very uncomfortable to start something new.
Oh, yeah.
And so that's a threshold people have to get over. But like you said, you were a little maybe anxious about, things, but then
A lot
a lot
but
but then once you were in,
Yeah.
you just
The hardest thing
flow.
for me was they have a specific computer program, and I thought, oh my, am I ever going to be able to learn this computer program? And I was taught very quickly over a 2-hour session, and then the person who knew this disappeared. And then I just didn't know, and I thought, oh my God, I just don't remember. And also, in my other profession, in my other life, I did all the graphic arts, and I forgot all that stuff. It comes back.
Yeah.
It's somewhere buried, but it comes back.
Okay. Can you tell us a little bit about the eligibility requirements to become a reservist?
The process is that you need to be 55 and over, and in your past have professional either experience or training, or have volunteered in a professional way, running special events and many things like that. And then we ask that you come to a first impressions, and we have those about every 6 weeks, 2 months. And if you just miss one, we're happy to talk to you on the phone and have you sign up also. Once you go online and you sign up, then you will get a password, and you actually then have access to our website. And in our website, you can look on the opportunity board and see what's available. You'll also be called by Barb or by one of us, and we will talk you through and see what are your strengths, what are you looking for, where do you live, how far is it, all those kinds of things, so that we can match you as best as possible. But you can always go online onto the opportunity board and see all the new things that come up. Pretty much every week there are new opportunities that come up.
Great. Tell us a little bit about the First Impressions.
First Impressions is usually run by Barb and our other reservist, whose name is Nancy Morehouse. Sometimes I'm there also. And we just held one at the West End Library in Boston, and we'll be holding another one actually with the Elderly Commission, with RSVP, and Beacon Hill Village and ReServe on January, I believe it's January 11th, but you can look on our website, reserveinc.org.
Okay.
And we advertise those, we let people know about them, we encourage you to come, and we tell you a lot more in depth about ReServe and about the program, but also everyone goes around and says who they are, what they're looking for, and so you get to see almost a support group of other people out there who are very similar to you in the same life stage.
Nice. What are some of the benefits to becoming a reservist?
Oh, there are lots of benefits. Do you want to take that one?
The benefits of becoming a reservist.
Yeah.
Besides having a place to go in the morning.
There you go.
It's very important.
It's very important. But many people at my age, you have a lot of things going on. And most people don't want a full-time job again. They want a part-time job, and all of ReServe jobs are part-time jobs. Some of them are short-term. They could be 3 to 6 months.
Oh,
Some of them
okay.
could be long-term. It depends on what the nonprofit wants, what the reservist wants. So you have that flexibility that you can maintain in your life while doing something good. You're back talking to people. You're back speaking to others and sharing things in a collegial way, which you sort of lost when you're off on your own. And even though it's a small stipend, the $10 an hour makes you feel like you are contributing and you are needed and
Acknowledged.
you are acknowledged as for the expertise that you bring. It's symbolic, but it's important.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you ever have gatherings of reservists? Do they get together? And
We do, but we've only had a few,
Okay.
and we're actually a new program in Boston. One
Okay.
thing I didn't say was
Yeah.
that the first ReServe started 10 years ago in the city of New York. They have 500 reservists working right now for many organizations and the city. And we have 4 other affiliates on the East Coast. Boston opened its doors 2 years ago, January 2013, almost 3 years ago. And we have 70 to 100 nonprofits that are working with us currently. We have over 300 reservists. So we are a growing, but really
Absolutely.
startup. So it is very important that reservists get to meet other reservists and see what people do. And one of the first ways that we just did that was we just went and what Barb talked about in terms of going to see the intern.
Yeah.
But we're talking about and asking people what they want. And some of that will be training in computers, lectures, doing trainings in resume writing, whatever people are interested in, and maybe even some social events.
wow. So we're almost at the end of our show. Maybe if you could give us what would you say to someone who was thinking about it? And then maybe you could just give us the website.
Yes.
Do it.
There you go.
There's almost no downside.
Okay.
If you're a snowbird and leave in the winter, just let me know, and then I make you inactive for those Florida months, and then you come back and we'll find you another position. But there's no downside. If you have skills and you want to give back to the community and you are not dependent on a market rate job at this point in life, do it.
Sounds like a great idea. And Judy, why don't you give us the website so people know where to go?
Right,
to
it's
find out more.
called ReServe, so ReServe. It's kind of an interesting name.
Yeah.
ReServe Greater Boston, and it is ReServeInc.org. So ReServeInc.org, and the phone number is 617-910-5158.
Well, thank you so much, guys, for coming and talking to us about this wonderful program. All the best, in your continuing work. Sounds fun and exciting. Reason to get up and put on a nice outfit every morning.
Absolutely, which is important.
Yes, and Judy, thank you so much for talking to us. It was very interesting. So
Our
all the
pleasure.
best.
Thank you so much,
Thank you.
Tula.
You're welcome. So if you missed that website, you can always call the Elderly Commission, and we'll be happy to connect you with Judy and ReServe. So thank you for watching Seniors Count, brought to you by Mayor Martin J. Walsh and our Commissioner Emily Shea. To contact us, please call 617-635-4366, or you can call the Mayor's 24-hour hotline, the 311 number, or 617-635-4500. You can also email us at elderly@boston.gov, and you can find us on Facebook. Take care and see you next time.
And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Yes, I think to myself.